What's up, guys? Today I'm going to teach you how to heel flip on a skateboard. So I used to think those Kyle Walker Pro shoes were really good for them because they had this hard edge, this like sharp edge on the side. But I started skating these old DC Court shoes, the really thick ones. And I kind of like these better for heel flips because there's just so much padding on the top of the foot. So when I'm kicking the board with my heel, I don't really feel like I'm hurting myself in any way. So it's just easier with a puffier padded shoe to just throw it out like that and not really worry as much about it. You know, like it doesn't hurt your foot, so you can just flick it that much harder. So I kind of like puffy shoes now. So this is a weird one for some people. Some people can kick flip, but they can never heel flip. And a lot of people are not consistent with heel flips. So for me, I've got my back foot right on the tip of the tail, and then my front foot with my toes hanging off at a slight angle. Now sometimes I'll put it this way at an angle the opposite way because sometimes I feel like fakey heel flips are easier. I think sometimes it can be easier to tilt your foot back because you can really think about your heel more, really get a good kick. So when I tilt my heel back like this, like I'm riding fakie, I point my toe in the back foot to compensate for it. So I've got a pop on this side and then a flick on this side. And yeah, sometimes that helps. Usually I can just stand in a normal ollie position and throw a heel flip. But occasionally, if I'm having trouble, I'll mess around with my feet and do some weird stuff. Another thing I like to do is go up on the bank and do heel flips. So on the bank, I just have a little more time. It gives me a little more lift and I don't have to try as hard. So I definitely enjoy these mellow banks at the skate park. I wouldn't be able to do half of the flip tricks I do without these banks. So everybody's got different tastes. You might like a flat board, you might like a lot of concave for this. So for me, right now, I'm into flat boards because I've been skating these mode freestyle boards. They're kind of small too. I think a smaller board is easier for heel flips. Anything that flips, I think a thinner board is easier. So basically what you do is you have a really good ollie, be able to pop, drag your front foot up, slam it down, and you're basically doing an ollie, except you're kicking your front foot off to the side, right in this pocket. I'm goofy footed, so I'm kicking that way. It's the opposite of a kick flip. So instead of flipping off to this side, you're flipping off to that side and hitting it with your heel. Let's take my shoe off. Sometimes it can be the heel, but you're not really kicking down, you're kicking out. Kind of like you're doing an ollie north. You know how when you do an ollie north, you drag off, kick out like this? You're doing that just off to the side a little bit. So I think sucking your feet up more, like really bending your knees and pulling your feet up higher is gonna help because it tends to land behind me. So you kind of have to jump up and kind of jump back. If it's landing behind you, compensate, jump behind you. You're probably flicking it behind you too, so you can compensate with the way you flick the board. Let me show that with the actual board. So if it's landing behind me, I'm jumping back. If it's landing in front of me, I'm jumping forward. But if it's going that way, then it's probably because I'm throwing it that way by pushing too much on the back and leaning my upper body. So if I'm leaning my upper body too far this way, I might be shooting it that way. If I'm leaning my upper body too much this way, I might be shooting it this way. So yeah, I mean, if it's going back here, then I need to push it forward more with my back foot. So yeah, you can compensate whatever you're doing wrong, just think about it. Make a mental note and try to do it differently. So I talk about thinking about it, but sometimes you have to not think about it. Sometimes I feel like I'll land them when I don't think about it at all. So sometimes you're thinking about it too much. Sometimes you just have to do it and just like pretend you know how to do it, fake it till you make it, and it actually works out. So just pretend like you know how to do a heel flip. Don't think that it's so hard, and you might land it. Because it's actually a pretty simple trick. Some people learn it before they learn kick flips, but it's just hard to be consistent at it because it's not as controlled a flick. So I've always been a kick flip guy. But heel flips are fun too. Once you get heel flips, you can throw some varial heel flips or some inward heel flips. I did both of those like within this past week. It's usually when somebody's watching and I just don't think about it that much and I just throw it and it actually works. sometimes when people are watching me skate here, it does actually push me to land it. You know, sometimes when I'm just skating alone, it's freezing out here. I don't have the inspiration to just like actually land on a hard flip trick. But sometimes when I got a little bit of an audience, I actually do have that inspiration. I'll try to start putting more life coaching stuff in these videos again. I've kind of slacked on that lately because I just haven't been thinking about it. Yeah, I'll put some more relationship coaching and just life advice in maybe the next few videos, but right now we're just thinking about heel flips. Forget about the rest of the world, just focus on heel flips. One thing I think about is my front foot, like sucking my front foot up a little higher when I'm not landing them, and that usually helps even more than thinking about the back foot that much. Yeah, I mean, ollie high, kick out instead of down, try to stay over it, land bolts, roll away. This board's kind of low to the ground. I cut wheel wells and I have kind of low trucks, so that really helps for this and a lot of flip tricks because it just doesn't feel as intimidating. It's just not that high, and the nose and tail are pretty low, so I don't have to really go extreme with it. I can just do a really quick pop and flick with this board. So yeah, I hope this video was helpful to you guys. Scroll through my channel, check out my other videos, check out the links in my description, and hit that subscribe button because I got a lot more videos like this coming soon. Thanks for watching.